Hollywood's golden age wasn't all glitz and glamour. It also had its fair share of secrets. Behind the elegant gowns and tailored tuxedos, there were some pretty wild stories waiting to be told. These vintage stars' private lives were just as unpredictable as the movies they starred in.
Haven't you ever met a man that can make you happy?
Sure. Lots of times.
In this video, we'll take you behind the velvet curtain to uncover the surprising personal escapades of 23 iconic stars. From whirlwind romances and forbidden flings to off-screen chemistry that kept the tabloids buzzing, these Hollywood legends didn't just push boundaries on set, they lived boldly off it too. Tula Bankhead. Tula Bankhead wasn't just a Hollywood star, she was a true force of nature. Known for her sultry voice, razor-sharp wit, and rebellious spirit, she was a larger-than-life personality, and even better, she lived unapologetically. Born in Alabama, Tula's charm lit up the silver screen and theater stages, but her off-screen antics were just as legendary. Bankhead openly embraced her love for life's pleasures. She described her romantic adventures with men and women in ways that were daring for her time. She once famously bragged, "I want to try everything once." And by all accounts, she certainly did. From rumored connections with Greta Garbo and Marlene Dietrich to a whirlwind marriage with actor John Emery, her relationships were the stuff of Hollywood gossip columns. Tula didn't shy away from discussing her vices either. She was candid about her struggles with alcohol and substance use, as well as her fondness for spontaneous romances. Despite facing criticism and societal taboos, she lived boldly. She often shocked her contemporaries with her unfiltered comments. With a personality as fiery as her career, Tula Bankhead broke every rule of her time. This is why she left behind a legacy as one of Hollywood's most unforgettable stars. Marlene Dietrich. Marlene Dietrich gained fame with her breakthrough role in The Blue Angel, 1930, and became one of Hollywood's highest-paid stars. Known for her captivating performances and unique style, Dietrich often pushed boundaries, both on and off the screen. Dietrich's bold fashion choices challenged traditional ideas about how women should dress. She famously performed in glamorous gowns before switching to a tuxedo mid-show. This move showcased her androgynous charm and kept audiences mesmerized. In the film Morocco, 1930, she made headlines by donning a tuxedo, flirting with women, and even sharing an on-screen kiss with one. This was a daring moment for its time. In her personal life, Dietrich lived unapologetically. Although she had to navigate societal pressures to keep her romantic life private, she enjoyed relationships with both men and women. Her rumored lovers included James Stewart, Gary Cooper, Joan Crawford, and women like Mercedes de Acosta. Known for her wit, Dietrich once remarked that women were better companions. She proclaimed that they were both great listeners and more attentive. Dietrich's legacy as a trailblazer in Hollywood and a symbol of fearless individuality continues to inspire. Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney lived a life that could be described as a whirlwind of contradictions. On screen, he was America's lovable boy next door, most famously as Andy Hardy in MGM's wholesome series of films. Off-screen, however, his personal life told a far more complicated story. Known for his charisma, Mickey was a magnetic figure who captured the hearts of audiences and co-stars alike. His charm, paired with his talent, made him a Hollywood icon. But his private life sometimes overshadowed his professional achievements. Rooney's love life was as prolific as his career, marked by 8 marriages, including one to actress Ava Gardner. Gardner famously remarked, "He went through the ladies like a hot knife through fudge." Despite his modest stature and quirky looks, Mickey had a knack for winning over leading ladies. This included Hollywood leading ladies like Lana Turner and Judy Garland. Behind the scenes, the MGM studio worked tirelessly to protect Rooney's clean-cut image. With enforcers like Eddie Mannix at the helm, scandals were swiftly hidden from the public eye. Mickey himself acknowledged the duality of his existence. He was caught between Andy Hardy's sunny small-town ethics and the complexities of his real life. Through it all, his talent kept him shining, even as his personal escapades added layers to his legacy. Ingrid Bergman. Ingrid Bergman, the radiant star of Casablanca and Joan of Arc, became a household name for her talent and grace. Yet her personal life sparked one of the biggest scandals in Hollywood history, nearly derailing her career. While married, Bergman began an affair with Italian filmmaker Roberto Rossellini. Their romance was anything but discreet, making headlines worldwide. At the height of the controversy, Bergman was even denounced on the floor of the U.S. Senate as an instrument of evil. The affair led to her divorce, a new marriage to Rossellini, and the birth of their 3 children. However, life with Rossellini wasn't idyllic. His infidelity and controlling nature led to their eventual separation. Bergman's romantic life remained complex, with later relationships adding more layers to her story. Despite the backlash, Bergman refused to apologize for following her heart. She famously said, "I've gone from saint to sinner and back to saint again." Her resilience and authenticity not only restored her career, but also redefined her as a trailblazer in both Hollywood and life. Gary Cooper. In the late 1920s, before his big break, Gary Cooper reportedly caught the eye of billionaire Howard Hughes. Their alleged relationship involved lavish gifts, including cars and expensive accessories. Cooper worked his way up from minor roles in silent films. Around the same time, he lived with actor Anderson Lawler, sparking rumors of a deeper connection. The two were inseparable, sharing heartfelt letters and attending exclusive gatherings. Lawler, a witty and outgoing figure, even coached Cooper on adopting a Southern accent for the Virginian, 1929. Though their relationship cooled as Cooper's career skyrocketed, their bond remained significant. Lawler preserved mementos of their time together. Hollywood insiders have long speculated about the complex dynamics of Cooper's early years. He balanced his ambition, relationships, and rise to fame. Despite personal challenges, Cooper's charm and talent cemented his legacy as a silver screen icon. Gary Cooper, one of Hollywood's most celebrated actors, lived a life as captivating off-screen as on. Cooper's charm extended beyond the silver screen, drawing the attention of both men and women during his early days in Hollywood. Bette Davis. Bette Davis was more than a Hollywood legend. She was a fiercely independent and passionate woman who lived life on her own terms. Known for iconic performances in films like All About Eve and Jezebel, Davis's personal life was as dramatic as the roles she played. Married 4 times, her relationships were often as fiery as her career. Her second marriage to Arthur Farnsworth was brief but happy, tragically ending with his sudden death. Her third husband, William Grant Sherry, claimed her dedication to acting drove them apart. But it was her stormy marriage to Gary Merrill that made headlines, echoing the intense dynamics of their characters in All About Eve. Davis was also rumored to have romantic ties with famous figures like Howard Hughes and Errol Flynn. She once described love as fire, saying it could either warm your heart or burn down your house. Despite criticism of her vibrant love life, Davis unapologetically embraced her passions. This broke a lot of societal norms of her time. She believed women deserved the same freedom as men to pursue relationships without shame. Bette Davis lived boldly, proving that passion, whether on screen or in life, was her ultimate hallmark. Spencer Tracy. Spencer Tracy's on-screen talent and charisma made him one of Hollywood's greatest actors, but his personal life was just as captivating. He had a long-term relationship with Katharine Hepburn, beginning in 1941. This affair remains a legendary tale of quiet devotion. Despite their deep bond, Tracy never divorced his wife, Louise Treadwell, due to his devout Catholic faith. Their romance lasted 26 years, yet they never lived together or acknowledged their relationship publicly. Hepburn, deeply committed to Tracy, cared for him during his struggles with alcohol and his declining health. "I could never have left him. He needed me," she once said, encapsulating their enduring connection. Tracy's personal life was filled with contradictions. While he upheld his religious beliefs, he was rumored to have many romantic entanglements. This included one with actress Loretta Young. His battles with inner turmoil and self-doubt often led to moments of instability, which also led to some pretty infamous episodes on film sets. Despite his struggles, Tracy's craft shone through. His seamless, natural acting style earned admiration from peers like Humphrey Bogart, who called him the best we have. Daisy and Violet Hilton. Daisy and Violet Hilton, famous conjoined twins, made a name for themselves in vaudeville and Hollywood during the 1920s and 1930s. They starred in films like Freaks and Chained for Life, captivating audiences with their performances. However, their love lives were just as fascinating as their careers. Despite being physically joined at the lower back and spine, Daisy and Violet were known for their beauty and vivacity. They were often the center of attention in social circles. They attended parties and engaged in romantic relationships. Their personal lives were full of drama and scandal. Daisy was involved in an affair with a married man, and both sisters were rumored to have had multiple lovers. Daisy even attempted to marry musician Jack Lewis. But legal challenges prevented it, as marriage to conjoined twins was considered bigamy in the 1930s. To cope with their lack of privacy, famous magician Harry Houdini taught them a mental technique to tune each other out when needed. Violet once joked that when Daisy had a romantic moment, she'd simply turn over, read a book, and eat an apple. Though the Hilton twins faced many challenges, their adventurous approach to love and life remains unforgettable. Gable. Clark Gable's charm and good looks made him a beloved figure, admired by countless women. But while Gable's career was filled with major films and endless admiration, his personal life was equally colorful. Gable was no stranger to romance. He had been linked to many actresses throughout his career, including Jean Harlow, Grace Kelly, and Ava Gardner. He seemed to have a preference for older women, which was evident in his first two marriages. His first wife, Josephine Dillon, was 17 years older than him, and their marriage was reportedly not consummated. He later married Rhea Langham, a wealthy Houston divorcee who helped him early in his career. Despite these early relationships, it was his marriage to actress Carole Lombard that was truly special. They shared a deep love, often playing practical jokes and enjoying life together. Tragically, Lombard died in a plane crash in 1942, a loss that left Gable devastated. Gable's personal life also included numerous short-term affairs. He was known to enjoy the company of women, including high-priced escorts. Although his love life was filled with excitement, many found Gable's talents in romance to be less impressive than his reputation suggested. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn's journey to Hollywood stardom began in an unlikely place, New Guinea. In 1933, film executive Joel Schwartz was impressed by the flashy young captain of a boat he had chartered to shoot footage for a film. This captain was Flynn, who was soon cast as Fletcher Christian in the Wake of the Bounty. This low-budget movie, filmed partly in Tahiti, sparked Flynn's desire to leave the South Seas and head for England. After a series of wild adventures, Flynn made his way to England. There, he landed work as a stage actor before being discovered by Warner Brothers. By 1935, Flynn was a Hollywood sensation, starring in Captain Blood and married to actress Lily Demita. He quickly became known as a screen lover, although he admitted to feeling awkward around co-stars, especially Olivia de Havilland. However, his personal life was far from graceful. His fame was fueled by reckless behavior. This included wild parties and numerous affairs, some with underage girls, which led to sexual assault charges in 1943. Despite the serious allegations, Flynn was acquitted, but he never truly changed his ways. His lifestyle, characterized by excess, is often discussed as a factor that may have contributed to his early death at age 50. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford, one of Hollywood's most famous stars, was known for her bold and uninhibited approach to life and love. Rumors about her freewheeling sex life circulated for years. She was infamous for using her sexual allure to gain professional advantage. Director Vincent Sherman, who worked with her in 1949, recalled a shocking experience. Crawford invited him to a screening room, stripped, and initiated an affair. Sherman later remarked on her masculine approach to sex, recalling her as a woman who went after what she wanted without hesitation. Crawford's relationships with directors and co-stars were numerous. She also had a tumultuous marriage history, including a painful divorce from her third husband, Philip Terry. Despite her success, Crawford's personal life was marked by loneliness and insecurity. This all stemmed from a traumatic childhood. She became a mother to 4 adopted children, but later regretted it. She reportedly expressed the sentiment that actresses often prioritized their careers over motherhood. Crawford's later years saw her struggling with aging, alcohol, and financial troubles. Yet she maintained her star persona, often working tirelessly to keep up appearances, despite her personal demons. Vivien Lee. Vivien Lee, a two-time Oscar winner, had a tumultuous personal life that mirrored her struggles in her later years. After marrying Sir Laurence Olivier, their passionate relationship was marked by Lee's intense sexual appetite. This reportedly became burdensome for Olivier. The couple's early years were filled with frenzied weekends together. These weekends often involved marathon, intimate encounters. Olivier, though eventually exhausted, continued to indulge her needs. Lee's appetites were described as powerful and addictive. In fact, several biographers noted her compulsion for intimacy. As she aged, these urges grew more intense. This often led her to seek out strangers, including taxi drivers and delivery men, in moments of distress. Her behavior became increasingly erratic, fueled by mental and physical health issues. Some of those included manic depression and tuberculosis. Her relationship with Olivier ultimately unraveled, with their marriage ending in 1960. Lee's emotional turmoil, along with her ongoing mental illness and sexual compulsion, played a significant role in the dissolution of their once glamorous love story. Despite these struggles, Lee remained an iconic figure, remembered for her legendary role as Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind and her undeniable beauty and charm. Walter Davis Pigeon was a Canadian-American actor who became a major leading man during Hollywood's golden age. Known for playing strong, wise characters, Pigeon earned 2 Academy Award nominations for Best Actor in Mrs. Miniver, 1942, and Madame Curie, 1943. He also starred in many other famous films, including How Green Was My Valley, 1941, Forbidden Planet, 1956, and Funny Girl, 1968. Aside from his successful acting career, Pigeon played an important role in the entertainment industry as the 10th president of the Screen Actors Guild from 1952 to 1957. He received the Guild's Life Achievement Award in 1975 and was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1960. Pigeon's personal life has been the subject of some speculation, though. In his autobiography, Scotty Bowers claimed that Pigeon was gay. According to Bowers, one afternoon, Pigeon gave him a ride in his Lincoln. They later became intimate. This revelation adds a layer of complexity to Pigeon's legacy, showing that his life off-screen was just as intriguing as his iconic roles. Mae West. Mae West was a trailblazer in Hollywood, known for her wit, charm, and unapologetic approach to life. She famously quipped, "I used to be Snow White, but I drifted," capturing the essence of her bold, fearless persona. West wasn't just a star. She was a phenomenon, paving the way for a new era of female empowerment in cinema. She wasn't afraid to embrace her sexuality and challenge societal norms, both on and off the screen. Her relationships were as daring as her career, with rumored affairs ranging from co-stars to bodybuilders. One of her most famous lovers was Paul Novak, whom she described as the love of her life. West also made waves by addressing taboo subjects in her writing, such as prostitution, homosexuality, and interracial intimacy. Her 1920s play Sex was a groundbreaking work that made the word sex a household term. Despite her many flirtations and short-term companions, Mae West was famously cautious about love. She famously said, "Marriage is a great institution. I'm just not ready for an institution." She was a woman ahead of her time, embracing independence while entertaining the world with her sharp humor and seductive charm. Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock is celebrated as one of history's greatest filmmakers, but behind the scenes, his behavior was far from admirable. Known for his unsettling fixation on his leading ladies, Hitchcock often crossed professional boundaries in ways that have shocked the film industry for decades. One of the most infamous examples of this was his treatment of actress Tippi Hedren during the filming of The Birds and Marnie. Hedren, a single mother and former model, was chosen by Hitchcock, but his interest extended far beyond her acting talents. According to Hedren, Hitchcock tried to control her personal life, dictating what she wore, ate, and even which friends she saw. Worse still, He reportedly made inappropriate advances. She rejected him, leading him to retaliate by making her on-set experience miserable. In one harrowing incident, Hitchcock replaced mechanical birds with real ones during an attack scene. This forced Hedren to endure 5 grueling days of being pecked and scratched. The emotional and physical toll was immense. Other actresses described him as having a schoolboy's obsession with women, glasses, and total control. While Hitchcock's brilliance as a director is undeniable, but his troubling actions behind the camera add a shadow to his cinematic legacy. Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando's smoldering looks and intense charisma captivated audiences, but his private life was just as fascinating. The documentary Listen to Me. Marlon dives deep into the actor's personal musings. It reveals intimate details from his own audio recordings. Brando admitted his relationships were often as turbulent as his acting career. He described his younger self as a beast, driven by an unstoppable energy when it came to romance. Brando's love life included high-profile connections with co-stars, socialites, and even royalty. He had a well-documented affair with Marilyn Monroe and reportedly shared close ties with actor James Dean. His charm seemed to leave everyone around him mesmerized. Among his most passionate relationships was his on-again, off-again romance with actress Rita Moreno. This reflected the emotional highs and lows of his personal life. Despite his fame, Brando was often critical of the spotlight and acting itself, calling it lying for a living. He sought peace in Tahiti while filming Mutiny on the Bounty and used self-hypnosis to cope with life's pressures. Through his recordings, Brando reflects on his legacy, revealing a man of depth, complexity, and undeniable talent. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor's love life was as legendary as her acting career. Known for her breathtaking beauty and magnetic charm, Taylor was married 8 times to 7 different men. Her romantic entanglements often made headlines, with many relationships sparking public fascination and scandal. One of her most controversial moments came when she began a relationship with singer Eddie Fisher, who was married to her close friend, actress Debbie Reynolds. This high-profile affair led to Fisher divorcing Reynolds and marrying Taylor. However, their union was short-lived as Taylor fell in love with Richard Burton while filming Cleopatra. Taylor and Burton's relationship was fiery and passionate, with 2 marriages and 2 divorces to prove it. Their love story, filled with lavish gifts and grand reconciliations, became Hollywood legend. Taylor herself admitted to loving deeply and often, embracing her romantic desires unapologetically. Beyond her marriages, rumors swirled about her alleged relationships with iconic figures like Montgomery Clift and even President John F. Kennedy. Despite her tumultuous love life, Taylor maintained a strong sense of self and a commitment to her friendships. She reconciled with Reynolds later in life, proving that even amid scandal, she valued forgiveness and connection. Taylor's life was a testament to living boldly and embracing love without regrets. Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes was a Hollywood legend known for his talent in aviation, filmmaking, and business. However, his private life tells a darker story. Hughes, one of the world's richest men, was known for his charm. However, accounts suggest he occasionally acted in ways that some found troubling, particularly regarding young actresses. Karina Longworth's book, Seduction, Sex, Lies, and Stardom in Howard Hughes's Hollywood, reveals troubling details about how he pursued relationships. Ava Gardner, a famous actress, remembered Hughes as passionate but also controlling and sometimes violent. Once, after she refused to pick him up from the airport, he became enraged and attacked her. Gardner defended herself, even injuring him in the process. While Hughes was often charming, accounts of his temper sometimes complicated his relationships. Hughes was also known for manipulating young actresses. Faith Domergue, just 16 when she met him, found her life completely controlled. He scheduled her every move, hired spies, and isolated her from friends. Though he promised to make her a star, he rarely fulfilled those promises. While Hughes achieved great things in his career, his behavior toward women remains a cautionary tale about power and exploitation in Hollywood. Longworth's book sheds light on the darker side of his legacy. Diana Dors. In the 1950s, Diana Dors was one of Britain's most glamorous and talked-about film stars. Often called England's Marilyn Monroe, she captivated audiences with her stunning looks and talent, starring in hits like Yield to the Night and Tread Softly, Stranger. By 25, she was Britain's highest-paid actress, adored by fans and envied by many. However, Dors's off-screen life was even more dramatic than her movie roles. Her lavish parties became legendary in showbiz circles, full of secrets and surprises. At these gatherings, which she hosted with her first husband, Dennis Hamilton, guests were known to let loose in ways that were far from the buttoned-up norms of 1950s Britain. Some accounts even mentioned hidden cameras and two-way mirrors used for clandestine entertainment. This raised eyebrows and made headlines. Despite the uproar when these tales surfaced, Diana embraced the scandal. She became a symbol of rebellion against Britain's prudish attitudes. She continued her bold lifestyle throughout the 1960s and 70s. While critics labeled her a wayward hussy, she maintained her career and became a cultural icon. Diana Dors proved that she wasn't just a blonde bombshell, but also a fearless personality who thrived in the spotlight. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin was not just a comedic genius, but also a figure of complex personal relationships. Known for his captivating on-screen presence, Chaplin's off-screen life was equally dramatic. At Hollywood parties, he was often the center of attention. He mimicked Hollywood's leading ladies and performed lively skits. However, his charm extended beyond humor. Chaplin was candid about his romantic encounters, claiming to have had intimate relationships with over 2,000 women. Chaplin's allure was undeniable. Though modest in stature, standing between 5'4" and 5'6", his striking blue eyes, ivory-like complexion, and charismatic demeanor made him appealing. By his mid-20s, his films had turned him into an international sensation, boosting his confidence and his reputation as a ladies' man. Despite his fame, Chaplin's relationships were often tumultuous. He met Mildred Harris, a 16-year-old actress, when he was 29. Their relationship began passionately but quickly soured after a hastily arranged marriage. This was prompted by a false pregnancy scare. The union dissolved amid allegations of neglect and infidelity. Mildred described Chaplin as distant and controlling. These personal struggles mirrored the complexities Chaplin portrayed in his films. His characters often embodied the frailty and humor of the human condition. Ramon Novaro. Ramon Novaro's life was as dramatic as any Hollywood script. Born Ramon Samaniego in Durango, Mexico in 1899, he fled the chaos of the Mexican Revolution and built a shining career in Hollywood. Renamed Ramon Novaro, he rose to fame in silent films like Ben-Hur, A Tale of the Christ, a record-breaking blockbuster. Known for his charisma and versatility, he worked with legendary directors and actors, including Greta Garbo and Mata Hari. Though his career waned after the silent film era, Novaro remained a Hollywood icon. Behind the scenes, his life was complicated. A devout Catholic, he struggled to reconcile his faith with his romantic interests in men during a time when society rejected such relationships. He also battled alcoholism, enduring personal and professional challenges as he aged. Tragically, Novaro is often remembered for his brutal murder on Halloween Eve in 1968. 2 young men killed him at his Hollywood Hills home, leading to sensationalized media coverage. Despite this grim legacy, Novaro's impact on cinema endures. His story, as detailed in Andre Suarez's biography Beyond Paradise, highlights the complexities of fame, identity, and resilience during Hollywood's golden era. Novaro remains a testament to the power of talent and perseverance in the face of adversity. Clara Bo. Clara Bo, the iconic it girl of silent cinema, was as famous for her love life as for her on-screen charisma. Her free-spirited nature and romantic adventures became the talk of Hollywood, often fueling tabloid sensationalism. With an estimated 15 or more romantic connections, Clara's love life painted a picture of a woman unapologetically ahead of her time. Among her notable relationships was her passionate yet brief romance with actor Gary Cooper, whose charm was hard to resist. She was also linked to Latin lover Gilbert Roland and director Victor Fleming, forming a string of whirlwind engagements. Clara's views on romance were progressive for her era. She treated many of her boyfriends as potential life partners, even if the relationships were fleeting. The press didn't always play fair, though. Clara was plagued by scandalous and often baseless rumors. These included the infamous claim that she had been romantically involved with the entire USC football team. But this is something that is widely considered untrue. Her challenges weren't limited to gossip columns. Her secretary once stole personal records and attempted blackmail. Despite the controversies, Clara Bo remains an enduring symbol of Hollywood's golden age, remembered for her talent, independence, and fearless approach to life and love. Jaza Gabor. Jaza Gabor didn't just live life, she sparkled through it. Known as the Queen of Glamour, Jaza made headlines not just for her beauty but for her larger-than-life personality. With 9 marriages under her belt, she famously quipped, "I am a marvelous housekeeper. Every time I leave a man, I keep his house." Her life was a whirlwind of diamonds, scandals, and lovers, making her one of the most talked-about figures of her time. Her journey to fame began with her first marriage to Turkish politician Burhan Asafbelge, which opened doors to high society. However, it was her marriage to hotel magnate Conrad Hilton that truly elevated her into the upper echelons of wealth and privilege. Though she claimed their union was loveless, it was her unapologetic honesty about having affairs during her marriages that made headlines. She was never shy about dropping names, hinting at flings with legendary figures like Frank Sinatra and even Richard Nixon. Jaza's infamous Beverly Hills mansion was the setting for legendary parties that became the stuff of Hollywood folklore. Guests mingled, sipped champagne, and whispered about her latest romantic exploits. Throughout it all, Jaza lived for the spotlight. Her wit, beauty, and unflinching self-confidence ensured that she remained a fixture in it, never fading into the background. From outrageous marriages to wild scandals, these stars sure knew how to live large. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment with your favorite star's shocking secret.